She disappeared after prom. 10 years later, her best friend found the truth. They promised to be best friends forever. But on the night of prom, one of them vanished. No goodbye, no phone call, just an empty car by the bridge and a corsage floating in the river. 10 years later, her best friend got a message from a private number that said, "Stop looking for me." This is the story of Sarah Miller and Emily Ross, two inseparable girls from the quiet town of Willow Creek, a town so small you could drive from one end to the other in 10 minutes. A place where everyone knew everyone, and gossip traveled faster than the school bus. For most people, Willow Creek was just a dot on a map. But for Sarah and Emily, it was their whole world. They met in the first grade. Sarah was the shy new girl who always sat in the back of the class, sketching in her notebook. Emily was the loud, bright, fearless kid who walked straight up to her and said, "You look lonely. Want to be friends?" From that day on, they were inseparable. Summers were spent barefoot, chasing fireflies by the lake, whispering secrets under the stars. Winters meant snow angels, matching scarves, and mugs of cocoa in Emily's kitchen while her mom played old records. They promised each other that no matter where life took them, they'd always find their way back to Willow Creek. Sarah was the calm, the voice of reason. She dreamed of becoming an artist, traveling the world, and one day seeing her paintings in a gallery. Emily was the chaos, adventurous, unpredictable, the kind of girl who lived in the moment and dragged Sarah along for every wild idea she had. If Sarah was the anchor, Emily was the storm. But somehow they made each other whole. Through middle school, they shared everything. First crushes, heartbreaks, late-night confessions. When Sarah's dad left, it was Emily who showed up at her door with a box of tissues and a stupid joke that made her laugh through her tears. And when Emily's mom got sick, Sarah skipped her own birthday party just to sit beside her in the hospital, reading stories until visiting hours were over. They didn't need words to understand each other. One look was enough. But as they got older, the world around them started to change. High school came, and with it, pressure, rumors, and the kind of jealousy that only small towns breed. Emily became the girl everyone noticed, beautiful, confident, the kind of girl who made teachers smile and boys forget what they were saying mid-sentence. Sarah, on the other hand, stayed in the background. She didn't mind, or at least she told herself she didn't. But sometimes, late at night, she'd catch herself wondering what it felt like to be seen the way Emily was. Still, nothing came between them, until him. His name was Liam Carson, tall, charming, the new guy who transferred from another town halfway through junior year. He was the kind of boy everyone noticed instantly. Emily was the first to talk to him. Sarah remembered that day vividly, the way Emily tossed her hair and laughed a little too loud. Within weeks, Liam and Emily were the couple everyone envied. But behind the perfect smiles and prom king chemistry, Sarah started to notice things. Emily grew quieter. She started canceling their movie nights. Her smile, that wild, fearless smile, began to fade. When Sarah asked if everything was okay, Emily would just shrug and say, "You wouldn't understand." Sarah didn't push, but she remembered the bruise on Emily's wrist that she tried to hide under a bracelet. Then came prom night, the night every senior had been dreaming of. The night that was supposed to be unforgettable. And it was, but not for the reasons anyone imagined. Emily spent the whole week talking about it. The dress she'd picked, the shoes she couldn't afford but bought anyway. The way she said, "This night has to be perfect. It has to be." Sarah helped her get ready, curling her hair in Emily's bedroom while old pop songs played in the background. They laughed about the future, about how life would finally start after high school. Before leaving, Emily looked in the mirror and said something strange. She whispered almost to herself, "After tonight, everything's going to change." Sarah thought she was just being dramatic, but those were the last words she'd ever hear from her best friend. Because that night, May 18th, 2015, was the night Emily Ross vanished. One moment she was dancing under the fairy lights of Willow Creek High's gymnasium. The next she was gone. No note, no call, just an empty car by the bridge, and a silver corsage drifting in the dark water below. The whole town searched. Police, volunteers, even divers, but nothing. And for the next 10 years, Sarah Miller would carry one haunting question. And why did Emily disappear? It was May 18th, 2015, the night every senior in Willow Creek High had been waiting for. For weeks, the excitement buzzed through the hallways. The last exams, the graduation rehearsals, the whispered promises of freedom. And for two girls, Sarah Miller and Emily Ross, it felt like the end of one chapter and the start of something big. They'd spent that entire afternoon getting ready at Sarah's house. Makeup scattered across the bed, curling irons plugged in, music playing too loud, laughter echoing off the walls. Sarah would later remember that laughter more vividly than anything else. "Sarah, can you zip me up?" Emily had said, turning her back, her silver dress shimmering like moonlight. Sarah smiled. "You look perfect." Emily turned to the mirror and grinned, that wide, confident grin that made people trust her instantly. "After tonight," she said, "everything's going to change." Sarah laughed it off. "Yeah, because we'll finally be free from this town." But Emily didn't laugh. She just smiled faintly and said, "No, I mean, everything." At the time, Sarah thought it was just teenage drama. She didn't know those would be some of the last words Emily ever said to her in person. Prom was held in the high school gym, transformed with fairy lights and gold ribbons. The air smelled like perfume and teenage dreams. Sarah and Emily walked in together, holding hands, laughing as the DJ played a mix of old pop songs. People stopped to stare. Emily always had that effect. She wasn't the prettiest girl in the school, but there was something magnetic about her, the kind of energy that made people want to be near her. But that night, Sarah noticed something off. Emily kept glancing around, checking her phone, laughing too hard at jokes that weren't funny. At one point, Sarah caught her staring at the exit doors, eyes distant. "You good?" Sarah asked. Emily nodded. "Yeah, just thinking about things." Sarah didn't push. She didn't want to ruin the night. But later she'd wish she had. Because around 11:30, Emily disappeared into the crowd, and Sarah didn't see her again until the end of the night. It was around midnight when Sarah decided to leave. Her boyfriend Tyler was waiting by the car. She looked around the gym one last time. The dancing lights, the noise, the laughter. And there was Emily, standing alone near the punch table, scrolling through her phone. "Hey, you sure you don't want to ride with us?" Sarah asked. Emily smiled, that same strange smile again. "I'll catch up later, promise." Sarah shrugged. "All right, text me." She didn't know that promise would be broken forever. By the time Sarah got home, it was after 1 a.m. Her phone buzzed as she was taking off her makeup. "Meet me by the bridge. I need to tell you something." It was from Emily. Sarah frowned. The message was short. No emojis, no punctuation. Not like Emily at all. She texted back, "What's wrong?" No reply. She waited. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Then another text came in, this time from Tyler. "You awake? Police scanner saying something about the river?" Sarah grabbed her keys and drove. The Willow Bridge was only 10 minutes away, an old rusted structure that crossed over the shallow river on the edge of town. They used to hang out there in summer, talking about life and boys and college dreams. When Sarah got there, it was quiet, the kind of quiet that presses against your ears. She parked and called out, "Emily?" Nothing. The only sound was the water moving beneath the bridge. She turned on her phone's flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness, landing on the wooden planks. That's when she saw it. A shoe! A silver high heel. Sarah's heart dropped. She picked it up. The strap was broken. Next to it lay Emily's phone, its screen cracked, faintly glowing with missed messages. The most recent one was from an unknown number. It read, "Don't tell anyone." Sarah's scream woke the neighbors. Within 30 minutes, police were everywhere. Flashlights cutting through the woods, dogs barking, radios buzzing. The town that never saw anything serious was suddenly alive with panic. But Emily was gone. They searched the river, nothing. They searched the woods, nothing. No footprints, no blood, no sign of a struggle. Just that shoe, that phone, and a single hair clip found on the railing, the one Emily always wore. Sarah was questioned for hours. What did she tell you? Did she meet anyone that night? Was she involved with anyone? She answered every question the same way. "I don't know." But deep down, she wondered if Emily had been planning something. To run away, maybe. Or to meet someone. The police suspected as much. Until they checked her messages. Everything had been deleted. Every call log wiped. Except one. A 9-second call. Placed at 1:29 a.m. From a number that didn't exist. By sunrise, the search was called off. People began whispering theories. Some said Emily ran away. Others claimed she fell into the river. But Sarah knew her best friend better than anyone. Emily didn't just disappear. She was taken. And as the sun rose over Willow Creek, Sarah stood at the bridge, holding that silver heel in her hands, whispering, "After tonight, everything's going to change." She didn't realize how right Emily had been, because from that night on, nothing in Willow Creek would ever be the same again. The next morning, the small town of Willow Creek woke to sirens. The kind of sound you don't hear often in a place where everyone knows everyone. where news travels faster than the wind. At 6:47 a.m., a jogger called 911. He'd found a car parked near Willow Creek Bridge, engine still running. Driver's door open, keys dangling from the ignition. It was Emily Ross's car. Sarah didn't hear about it until later that morning. She was still in bed, half asleep, when her mother walked in, pale-faced, holding the phone. Mrs. Miller, softly, "Sarah, honey, it's about Emily." Those words froze her. Within minutes, Sarah was dressed and out the door. She drove the same winding road she and Emily had taken countless times, the one that led straight to the old bridge. But this time there were flashing lights, yellow tape, uniforms. She parked at the side of the road, breath trembling as she stepped out. Officer, firm. "Sorry, ma'am, you can't cross this line." Sarah panicked. "That's my best friend's car." The officer looked at her, that look of sympathy police use when they don't have answers yet. He nodded toward the bridge. "She's not here, sweetheart. We're still looking." Sarah's eyes fell on the silver heel in the evidence bag. Her stomach turned. By noon, half the town had gathered. Reporters showed up. Police drones hovered overhead, and still, nothing. Divers went into the river. Volunteers combed the woods. Helicopters circled until the sky turned gray. But there was no trace of Emily. Every hour that passed felt like sand slipping through Sarah's fingers. She refused to leave. She stood at the bridge for hours, replaying the last message over and over again. "Meet me by the bridge. I need to tell you something." She wondered what Emily had been so desperate to say. Later that evening, when the search was called off for the night, Officer Grant approached Sarah with a clipboard. "Officer Grant, Miss Miller, when was the last time you saw her?" Sarah, "At prom around midnight." Officer Grant, "And you didn't notice anything strange?" Sarah hesitated. The phone, the nervous smiles. But she didn't know what was important. Sarah, quietly, she said everything was going to change. Narrator. The officer wrote that down, slowly, as if those words meant something more than Sarah realized. By the second day, rumors spread like wildfire. Willow Creek hadn't had a real scandal in decades, and now everyone had a theory. At the diner, people whispered that Emily had run away, that she'd been planning it for months. Someone else claimed she'd been dating a college guy from out of town. A few even said she'd been pregnant. Sarah listened to all of it, numb. She started scrolling through Emily's old messages, voice notes, photos, searching for any clue, any sign. But then she noticed something strange. Everything from that week was gone. Deleted, like someone had wiped her phone clean before she vanished. And the last text from Emily's number, the one that said "Meet me by the bridge," had no timestamp. Just a blank gray bubble. That's when Sarah realized someone had access to Emily's phone. The police did what they could. They interviewed teachers, classmates, neighbors. No one had seen her after prom. Emily's car was examined. No fingerprints but hers. No sign of a struggle. No blood. Just one thing caught their attention. The passenger seat had mud on it. Fresh, dark mud. But the night before had been dry. So where had it come from? When detectives pulled the CCTV footage from the road near the bridge, they found something chilling. At exactly 1:24 a.m., 5 minutes before Sarah received the text, Emily's car drove past the camera. A second later, another vehicle followed, black. No license plate. The footage cut out for exactly 23 seconds, then came back. And the road was empty. Officer Grant to his partner. Someone tampered with the feed. Days turned into weeks. The search teams disbanded. Posters started fading on telephone poles, but Sarah couldn't move on. She replayed that night over and over in her head. The smile, the text, the silver dress. Everyone told her to let it go. Her parents, her teachers, even the police, but she couldn't, because she remembered something. Something she hadn't told anyone. The night before prom, Emily had been crying in Sarah's bathroom. She'd said, "Sarah, if anything ever happens to me, don't believe what they say." At the time, Sarah thought it was about to break up. Now, she wasn't so sure. 2 weeks after Emily's disappearance, Sarah received a voicemail. Blocked number, no caller ID. She almost didn't play it, but when she did, her heart stopped. "Sarah, it's me. Don't look for me, please." Then, a sound, like wind, or rushing water, then silence. She played it again, and again. Each time, the voice became harder to believe. Was it really Emily, or someone pretending to be her? When she took the recording to the police, they confirmed it. The voice was Emily's, but the background sound, that rushing noise, wasn't wind. It was the sound of Willow Creek River. The town of Willow Creek moved on, but Sarah couldn't, because somewhere out there, Emily's story wasn't finished, and neither was the nightmare. 10 years. That's how long it had been since the night at Willow Creek Bridge. 10 years since Emily Ross disappeared. 10 years since Sarah Miller last saw her best friend smile. In that time, the world had changed. New phones, new presidents, new lives. But Sarah's world? It never moved forward. It just grew quieter. Sarah had left Willow Creek 5 years ago, packed her life into a car, and drove until the small-town silence was behind her. She moved to Chicago, found a job as a librarian, started wearing her hair shorter. To anyone looking from the outside, she seemed fine. Ordinary, stable. But inside, she lived with ghosts. Every year, on May 18th, the anniversary, she'd sit by her window, scrolling through photos of her and Emily at prom. Two girls smiling under fairy lights, frozen in a moment that would never come again. And every year, on Emily's birthday, she posted the same message online. "If you're still out there, I'll never stop looking." The comments always flooded in. Old classmates, curious strangers. Some said she needed therapy. Others said to let her rest. But Sarah couldn't stop, because deep down she knew Emily was still out there, somewhere. What started as grief slowly became obsession. Sarah kept a small room in her apartment locked. A memory room, her therapist called it. Inside were boxes of printed news articles, police reports, phone records. A map of Willow Creek pinned with red strings connecting names, locations, and dates. She'd visit that room every night before bed, staring at the photo of Emily. Same silver dress, same bright eyes, frozen in time. Sarah softly, almost to herself. "Where did you go?" Sometimes she thought she could hear Emily's laugh echoing faintly, like a memory replaying in her mind. Sometimes she even dreamed of her, standing on the bridge, whispering something Sarah could never quite hear. It wasn't just grief anymore. It was a pull. Then came the messages. It started with a random email. Subject line, "You don't know the full story." Sarah thought it was spam. She almost deleted it until she saw the sender's name. WillowCreekTruthEgmail.com. The message contained no text, just a link. Her heart pounded. She clicked it. It led to an old, dead forum, a page last updated in 2016. Someone had posted about Emily Ross's disappearance, but the final comment had been added 2 days ago. It read, "The bridge wasn't where it ended, it's where it began." Sarah froze. The IP address was traced to a motel on the outskirts of Indiana, 2 hours from where she lived. The same state where her old high school counselor had moved years ago. The same man who had once told her, "Some secrets are better left buried." Sarah didn't believe in coincidences anymore. It was a cold February night when it happened. Sarah was asleep when her phone buzzed. 2:14 a.m. She rolled over, half awake, saw a notification. "Private number." She frowned, opened it. The message said, "Stop looking for me." And attached was a photo. Emily, older, thinner, standing in front of a motel mirror, holding a phone. Her eyes looked hollow, her lips slightly parted, as if she'd just spoken. Sarah whispering, "Emily?" The timestamp said 2:12 a.m., 2 minutes before the message arrived. Sarah's body went cold. She stared at the photo for what felt like hours. Zoomed in, pixel by pixel, looking for clues. In the reflection of the mirror, she saw something behind Emily. A curtain, a lamp, and on the wall, a number. Room 19. The next morning, Sarah packed a small bag. She didn't tell anyone, not her boss, not her therapist, not her family. She just drove, out of the city, through the long highways and dead fields, back toward Willow Creek, the town she swore she'd never return to. It was almost surreal, driving past places that hadn't changed. The gas station, the high school, the diner where rumors had once spread like wildfire. And then, the bridge. Weathered, silent, just like she'd left it. She stopped the car and stepped out. The wind felt colder there, heavier, like the air itself remembered what had happened. Sarah murmured, quietly, "Emily, if you can hear me, please, show me something." Nothing. Then from her phone, a chime, a notification, another message, "You shouldn't have come back." And below it, another photo, this time of the bridge itself, taken from behind her car. Someone was watching her. Sarah didn't go home. She followed the only lead she had, the number on the motel wall. After hours of searching, she found it. A small roadside motel off Highway 9. When she walked in, the clerk barely looked up. Clerk looking bored. "Need a room?" Sarah, carefully, "Actually, does someone stay here in room 19? The clerk squinted. "Not lately. Haven't rented that room in months." "Power's out. You sure about the number?" Sarah nodded. "Yes, I'm sure." He shrugged, handed her a key. "Check for yourself." Sarah's hand shook as she slid the key into the lock. The door creaked open. Inside, the air was stale, empty, dust on the furniture. But there was something on the floor. A photograph. It was the same one she'd been sent. Only now, written on the back, in red ink, were 4 words. I tried to leave. Sarah fell to her knees, clutching the photo. Tears stung her eyes. She whispered, "Emily, where are you?" Then her phone rang. "Private number." She answered. At first there was silence, then through a faint voice, breathing. "Sarah." Her heart froze. "I told you, stop looking." Sarah whispered, "Emily, please, tell me where you are." There was a pause. Then, a sound. A door creaking, footsteps, and then the same rushing noise from the voicemail 10 years ago. The sound of Willow Creek River. Then the line went dead. 10 years. And she was still alive, but someone didn't want her found. Distant thunder, light rain. Sarah didn't sleep that night. The photo, the voice, the sound of the river. It all looped in her mind like a nightmare she couldn't wake up from. Whoever sent that message knew her, knew Emily, knew everything. By sunrise, she made a decision. If the police wouldn't reopen the case, she'd find out the truth herself. But Sarah had no idea. The moment she made that call, she'd stepped into something far darker than she could imagine. Morning rain, city ambience, a kettle whistling faintly. Sarah called the one person who might still care, Detective Miles Carter. He'd been the lead investigator back in 2015, before the case was shelved, before they called Emily's disappearance a cold trail. Phone ringing twice, then answered. Carter, gruff, tired voice. "Carter here." "Sarah." "It's Sarah Miller. I found something." Carter, long pause. "Miller, haven't heard that name in a while. What did you find?" Sarah, hesitant. "A photo, a message from her." Carter, "From who?" Sarah, "Emily." Beat of silence, faint thunder. Carter quietly, "That's impossible." But when Sarah sent him the picture, the timestamp, the motel, the number on the wall, his tone changed. Carter, "Stay where you are. I'm coming to you." Coffee shop hum, chairs scraping, low chatter. They met at a small cafe near the Chicago library where Sarah worked. Detective Carter looked older, heavier, the kind of man who'd seen too many cases without justice. He studied the photo under the dim light. Carter, "Room 19, you said you went there?" Sarah, "Yes, there was nothing inside, just the same photo, and a message written in red ink." Carter, reading. "I tried to leave." He exhaled slowly. Jesus Christ. Carter took out his tablet, ran a trace through law enforcement databases. The photo's metadata pointed to a motel 2 states away, in Nevada. Carter, "If this is real, Sarah, someone doesn't want this case reopened." Sarah whispers, "Then that's exactly why we have to." For a long moment, neither spoke. Then Carter nodded once. They were going back to where it all started. There are car tires on wet asphalt, desert wind fading into silence. The Silver Pines Motel sat alone by a dead stretch of highway, half-burnt, boarded up, forgotten by time. A faded sign leaned sideways in the sand. Room numbers hung crooked, some blackened by fire. Carter, "This is the place." Sarah's pulse raced as they stepped into room 19. It smelled of dust, mildew, and something older, something that lingered. Sarah, "It's here. This is where she stood." Carter scanned the room, his flashlight cutting through the dark. Then he saw it, a leather journal wedged beneath the bed frame. He knelt, pulled it out. The edges were burned, but the writing inside was clear. Sarah, whispering, "That's her handwriting." Carter, reading. "He wasn't who he said he was. If you find this, don't trust him." At the bottom, Emily's name, and beneath it, initials. MD. Sarah. MD, who could that be? Carter. Could be a name, could be a clue. Sarah's mind raced. The letters pulled at a memory, something half forgotten. In high school, there had been a new counselor, Mr. Michael Donahue. He'd transferred the same year Emily vanished. Quiet, kind, always smiling. Sarah remembered once finding Emily crying after a session with him. When asked what was wrong, Emily had just said, "He understands me. He knows what it's like to lose control." Sarah, to herself, MD Michael Donahue. Carter ran the name. No record of employment after 2016. No address, no tax filings. Just one note, a police report, filed in 2018. Missing person, Michael Donahue. Last seen, Nevada. Carter murmurs, "So the man who might have taken her disappeared too. Sarah. Or he took her with him. Inside the journal was something else, a small cassette tape tucked in the back pocket. Labeled only April 16. Carter found an old player in his car and hit play. Static crackles, then a woman's voice. Emily, on tape, shaky. If someone hears this, I'm scared. He says he's keeping me safe, but it doesn't feel like safety anymore. Sarah's breath caught. It was Emily. Emily, tape. He told me not to look out the window. He said the bridge isn't what I think it is. Pause. If you find this, don't trust MD. Static cuts abruptly. Carter, grim. She knew she was in danger. Sarah, voice trembling. She was alive when she recorded this. She could still be. But before she could finish, Carter's phone buzzed. A restricted number. He answered. A male voice, distorted, was heard. You shouldn't have opened that. Line disconnects. Someone was listening. There were night crickets, rushing water. That night, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling she'd missed something. She opened the journal again. The last page had faint impressions beneath the ink, as if someone had written over another message. Carter shaded the page with graphite. Words emerged. Back where it began. The river hides what he couldn't. Sarah speaking quietly. The river. It could only mean one place. Willow Creek Bridge. They drove through the night, headlights cutting through the fog. Willow Creek lay ahead, silent under the storm. As they approached the bridge, Sarah's phone buzzed again. Same private number. A message. You were never supposed to find the journal. Sarah, reading, panicked. He knows. Carter replied, keep driving. They stopped by the old wooden railing, same place where it all began 10 years ago. The water below roared, swollen from the rain. Carter scanned the riverbank with his flashlight. Something metallic glinted in the mud. He stepped closer, picked it up. A locket. Emily's. Inside, a photo of Sarah and Emily at prom. And behind it, a folded note. He opened it carefully. He's watching from the other side. Thunder strikes. Carter turned. His flashlight caught movement in the trees. A man's silhouette. Tall, still, watching. Sarah whispers. Emily? Male, soft, distant voice. She's not who you think she is. Sarah froze. That voice. She'd heard it before, 10 years ago, on the night Emily vanished. The one who called her that night. The one who said, she's gone. The journal warned not to trust him. But now, Sarah realized she never knew who him really was. Early morning rain easing to a drizzle, birds faintly returning, the low hum of police radios. By dawn, the man in the shadows was gone. But what he left behind changed everything. In the mud beneath the bridge, the same spot where Emily's shoe was found 10 years earlier, lay something metallic, half buried. A lanyard, with an ID card. It was old, water-stained. The name was barely legible, but the initials? MD. Rain dripping, camera shutters clicking, police murmuring. Carter. Michael Danner, or Daniels, or whoever the hell he really was. The name struck a nerve. Sarah hadn't heard it in years, but the memory was sharp. Mr. Daniels, the high school guidance counselor, the man who always smiled too long, who remembered every student's schedule, who called Emily his brightest star. He'd vanished the same week Emily did. No goodbye, no record, just gone. Sarah, shaken. You think he took her? Carter. I think he was running from something, or someone. They sent the ID to forensics. The results came back within hours. Partial fingerprint, a match. Michael Daniels, or as the records showed now, Michael Danner, alias used in Arizona, 2018. He'd been arrested for identity fraud and kidnapping. Dusty wind, cicadas, the hum of a car engine driving through desert roads. Sarah and Carter flew to Arizona. The police there had locked away Danner's files years ago, after his arrest ended in suicide before trial. But his storage unit remained, unclaimed, untouched. Carter, grim. Whatever's in there, it's our last chance to know what really happened. Inside, dust coated everything. Stacks of boxes, old Polaroids pinned to corkboards, driver's licenses from strangers, and one box marked WC 2015. Sarah opened it with trembling hands. Inside were photographs, hundreds of them. All from that same night, Emily at prom, Emily at the bridge, Emily crying in a car, Sarah, voice breaking. He was watching her the whole time. And beneath the photos, a folded silver fabric, her dress, the same one she wore that night. There was more, a small cassette player, identical to the one found in Nevada. This one labeled simply, The Truth. Carter pressed play. Static, then the same soft, trembling voice of Emily. Emily recorded. He said he wanted to help me leave Willow Creek. He said he could make me disappear. But when I tried to run, he said I already had. Long pause, then breathing, whispering. Emily, if anyone finds this, please tell Sarah. I tried to fight him, but he's not working alone. Tape cuts. Sarah, shaking. Not alone? What does that mean? Carter. It means there's more to this. Someone helped him. City traffic, phones ringing, distant thunder again. Carter began cross-referencing Danner's old contacts from Willow Creek. Teachers, staff, counselors. One name stood out. Margaret Doyle, school secretary. Initials, MD. Sarah, stunned. Wait, another MD? Carter. Two people with the same initials. That can't be coincidence. Margaret Doyle had left town the same year too, claiming she was moving closer to family. But her last known address was the same street as Danner's rented home in Nevada. Sarah. They were working together. Carter, grimly. Or she was the one who led him to Emily. Sarah felt sick. All those times Emily had gone to the counselor's office. Doyle had been the one calling her in. She'd trusted her. Everyone had. Among Danner's possessions was a file marked audio statements. Inside, multiple recordings labeled by name and date. One near the end read, Margaret, 07-02-16. They played it. A woman's voice, shaky, older. Margaret recorded. You said she'd be safe, Michael. You promised me. Danner, calm, chilling voice. She is safe, Margaret. She's away from them, from her mother, from the lies. Margaret, she's just a girl. Danner interrupts. She's not a girl. She's chosen. You'll understand soon enough. Tape stops abruptly. Carter exclaimed, Jesus Christ. The timestamp matched the week they both vanished. Sarah quietly. He made her disappear, but not the way everyone thought. Back at Willow Creek Bridge, night, wind, faint crickets. Sarah returned one last time to the bridge. This time she wasn't looking for Emily. She was looking for closure. The river was calm. The water reflected the moon like a mirror. Sarah said softly, Emily, I found him. I know what he did. She placed the locket back on the railing, where it all began. Then her phone buzzed. One last message. Private number. He lied to both of us. Sarah, breathing hard. Emily? No reply. Just a photo. A woman's reflection, standing by the bridge behind Sarah. Older, thinner, eyes hollow but familiar. Emily, alive. Thunder rumbles distantly, and the sound of rushing water builds beneath. 10 years of searching, 10 years of pain, and now she was finally found. But the question was, what had she become? Soft night wind, steady rainfall dripping from leaves, a quiet hum of nearby power lines. Distant thunder rolls low and heavy. Sarah didn't move. She couldn't. The photo glowed on her phone screen, shaking slightly in her trembling hand. Emily's face, older, gaunt, the same hollow eyes. But behind her own reflection in the water, there was movement. The bridge creaked under Sarah's weight as she turned slowly, scanning the tree line. Nothing, only the whisper of rain. But in the reflection of the river below, a faint, pale figure lingered. Sarah, breathing hard. Emily? Voice, distorted soft. You shouldn't have come back. Metallic echo like distant footsteps on wet metal. Sarah's pulse thundered in her ears. She leaned over the railing, eyes fixed on the reflection. It was still there. And then, it smiled. A smile the real Emily never had. Car door slam, engine revving, rain on windshield. Sarah drove straight to the motel. Room 19, the same one from the photo. But when she arrived, the clerk was gone. The office light flickered weakly. She unlocked the door herself. Door creaking open, faint echo dripping faucet. The room smelled like damp carpet and rot. But everything was exactly as it had been in the photo. A mirror facing the bed, a single lamp, and on the nightstand, a cell phone. Emily's phone. Sarah whispers, "Oh my God." Phone buzzes in her hand, incoming text. "You're in my room." Heartbeat builds underneath. She dropped the phone. It clattered to the floor, the screen lighting up again. "Turn around." Sarah, barely audible. "No." Rain intensifies, wind moaning through cracks. The mirror shimmered, fog gathering across its surface. And as Sarah stepped closer, another figure slowly appeared. Reflection. Emily, her hair darker, her face thinner, but unmistakably alive. Sarah, voice breaking. "Emily, how are you here?" Emily, calm, eerie. "I told you to stop looking." Sarah, I had to find you. Emily. You shouldn't have. Emily's reflection moved, but the real Emily didn't. Sarah stared, frozen, as the reflection raised its hand first. Her real sister's face stayed still. Sarah, terrified, whisper, "What are you?" Emily, softly, "What he made me." Mirror suddenly cracks, sound of shattering glass. Sarah stumbled back, gasping. The mirror split clean through the middle, but Emily's face lingered in the broken pieces. Sarah's flashlight caught something behind the cracked mirror, a hollow gap in the drywall. Inside, wrapped in a plastic bag, was another cassette tape. Label, MD, subject number 2. Click, static, male voice, Danner. Danner, recorded. She's responsive now, memory retention low, but emotional recall high. The second subject bonds faster when triggered by familiar faces. Woman's voice, Margaret Doyle. Are you sure she's stable? Danner. She thinks she's the first one. That's all that matters. Sarah, breath trembling. Second subject? There was another Emily? The tape stopped abruptly, and in the silence, Sarah's phone buzzed again. He lied to both of us. Sound, wind howling outside, approaching storm. Sarah's eyes darted across the motel room. Every photo, every clue, it wasn't about Emily anymore. It was about replication, reconstruction. He hadn't just taken her friend. He'd rebuilt her. Sarah barely whispering, No, that's impossible." Emily, from behind softly, "Is it?" Sarah gasps, turns around. There she was, Emily, standing in the doorway, alive, real. Sarah crying. "Emily!" Emily said, "I told you to stop." Sarah replied, "I found out what he did to you. You don't have to run anymore." Emily, cutting her off, voice trembling, "You don't understand. I'm not the one you lost." Lightning flashed, and for a brief second, Sarah saw the truth. A surgical scar behind Emily's ear, another at her wrist. Sarah backing away. "Oh my God!" Emily whispering. "He said he could make me whole again, but I was never broken." Thunder explodes, power flickers, a violent wind rushes through broken glass. Sarah grabbed the cassette, the phone, anything she could, and ran. The motel hallway was empty, doors swinging open and shut in the wind. Behind her, footsteps, slow, steady. Emily calling out, "You can't save me, because I'm not me anymore." Sarah's frantic breathing, car engine starting. Sarah sped into the night, rain blurring her windshield. But as the motel disappeared in her rearview mirror, she saw a figure standing in the doorway. Emily, watching, smiling. Lightning flashed once more, and she was gone. 10 years searching for the truth. Reflection. Emily, her hair darker, her face thinner, but unmistakably alive. Sarah, voice breaking. "Emily, how are you here?" Emily, calm, eerie. "I told you to stop looking." Sarah, "I had to find you." Emily, "You shouldn't have." Emily's reflection moved, but the real Emily didn't. Sarah stared, frozen, as the reflection raised its hand first. Her real sister's face stayed still. Sarah, terrified, whisper, "What are you?" Emily, softly, "What he made me." Mirror suddenly cracks, sound of shattering glass. Sarah stumbled back, gasping. The mirror split clean through the middle, but Emily's face lingered in the broken pieces. Sarah's flashlight caught something behind the cracked mirror, a hollow gap in the drywall. Inside, wrapped in a plastic bag, was another cassette tape. Label, MD, subject number 2. Click, static, male voice, Danner. Danner, recorded. She's responsive now, memory retention low, but emotional recall high. The second subject bonds faster when triggered by familiar faces. Woman's voice, Margaret Doyle. Are you sure she's stable? Danner. She thinks she's the first one. That's all that matters. Sarah, breath trembling. Second subject? There was another Emily? The tape stopped abruptly, and in the silence, Sarah's phone buzzed again. He lied to both of us. Sound, wind howling outside, approaching storm. Sarah's eyes darted across the motel room. Every photo, every clue, it wasn't about Emily anymore. It was about replication, reconstruction. He hadn't just taken her friend. He'd rebuilt her. Sarah barely whispering, No, that's impossible." Emily, from behind softly, "Is it?" Sarah gasps, turns around. There she was, Emily, standing in the doorway, alive, real. Sarah crying. "Emily!" Emily said, "I told you to stop." Sarah replied, "I found out what he did to you. You don't have to run anymore." Emily, cutting her off, voice trembling. "You don't understand. I'm not the one you lost." Lightning flashed, and for a brief second, Sarah saw the truth. A surgical scar behind Emily's ear, another at her wrist. Sarah backing away. "Oh my God," Emily whispering. "He said he could make me whole again, but I was never broken." Thunder explodes, power flickers, a violent wind rushes through broken glass. Sarah grabbed the cassette, the phone, anything she could, and ran. The motel hallway was empty, doors swinging open and shut in the wind. Behind her, footsteps, slow, steady. Emily calling out, "You can't save me, because I'm not me anymore." Sarah's frantic breathing, car engine starting. Sarah sped into the night, rain blurring her windshield. But as the motel disappeared in her rearview mirror, she saw a figure standing in the doorway. Emily, watching, smiling. Lightning flashed once more, and she was gone. 10 years searching for the truth. 10 years searching for the truth. And now Sarah had it. But truth has a price, and hers had just begun to collect. Heavy rain transitioning to silence, faint hum of a highway at night, the sound of Sarah's car tires on wet asphalt. Sarah drove for hours. The road stretched endlessly, swallowed by darkness and storm. Behind her, the motel, the face, the truth, blurred into shadow. But ahead, something waited. Phone buzzes, soft static. At 3:14 a.m., her phone buzzed again. Another private number, another message. It wasn't a text this time. It was a voicemail. Sarah, shaky whisper. "Emily?" Sound, voicemail playback, soft breathing, static crackle, faint crying. Emily, recorded. "Sarah, if you're hearing this, don't come back to Willow Creek. It's not over. He's still here." Static intensifies, followed by faint whispering in the background. Male voice, distorted. "Danner, faint. She's coming home." Voicemail ends with a sharp TV. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. Danner was dead. She'd seen the files, the photos, the death report. So how could his voice still be calling from the other side? Wind howling through trees, car slowing down on gravel. The coordinates attached to the voicemail led her back, not to the motel, but to the woods near Willow Creek. The same woods behind their high school. It was there, beneath layers of fog and pine, that Sarah found it. An abandoned building half buried in dirt and vines. No signs, no windows, only a rusted door with a small metal plate. MD Laboratories, private property. Sarah whispering. "No, it can't be." Door creaks open, echoing footsteps down a long hallway. The air inside smelled of dust and antiseptic. Walls lined with peeling white paint. Rooms filled with medical equipment, long since corroded. But then she found the main chamber. Lights flickering weakly, monitors humming, and in the center, a single hospital bed. On the table beside it, a stack of old documents. Sarah reading softly. Project Lucent, cognitive replication through emotional imprinting. Her heart dropped. Danner hadn't just been a counselor. He'd been experimenting on memory, on identity, on people. And Emily was his first subject. Static burst, then the hum of an old tape machine starting. In the corner of the room, another player, one she recognized. The same kind of tape deck from the motel. She pressed play. Danner recorded calm. Replication successful. Subject 1 displays complete emotional recall. However, fragmentation occurs during trauma triggers. Subject 2 will stabilize her. They always bond faster when the bond is grief. Click, tape continues. Margaret Doyle with a nervous voice. "Michael, you're using her best friend. She'll never believe it." Danner. "She doesn't need to. She only needs to remember." Sarah, horrified whisper. "He cloned her?" Her voice trembled as she realized what that meant. Emily hadn't just been abducted. She'd been duplicated. The Emily who'd texted her, who stood by the bridge, wasn't the original. It was the second subject. Distant hum of fluorescent lights, water dripping from pipes. Sarah turned slowly, the faint reflection in the glass wall behind her shifting again. Emily, from behind, soft. "I told you not to come." Sarah gasps. She turned. Emily stood in the doorway, the same one from the motel, dressed in that faded silver dress. Sarah, voice trembling. "What are you?" Emily. "I'm what he left behind." Sarah. "You're not her." Emily. "I am her. Her voice, her memories, her love for you. Everything that made her Emily is inside me. Isn't that enough?" Sarah stepped closer, tears glistening in her eyes. "Sarah, I don't want pieces of her. I want my best friend back." Emily whispering, "She's gone, Sarah, but he made sure I'd never forget her." Lightning flashed through the broken window, illuminating a shape behind Emily. Another bed, another body, covered in plastic. Sarah, voice cracking, "No, please don't." Beneath the sheet lay the real Emily Ross, preserved, lifeless. Sarah sobbing, "As you lied to me." Emily, tears in her eyes, "No, Sarah, I came back because I still remember loving you." Building groaning, thunder rumbling closer. The power flickered again, alarms blaring as the old wiring sparked. Carter's voice came through her phone, faint, frantic. Carter through phone. "Sarah, get out of there! There's gas leaking from those generators." Sarah crying, "I can't leave her." Carter, "She's not her." The second Emily reached out, trembling, clutching Sarah's hand. Emily softly, "I didn't ask for this, but if I'm all that's left of her, then don't let him win by destroying me too." Violent explosion, debris crashing, alarm screaming. Flames tore through the lab. Sarah dragged Emily toward the exit, coughing, blinded by smoke. They stumbled out just as the structure began to collapse, walls caving in on the ghosts of Danner's creation. Early morning birds, soft wind, crackling embers fading. By sunrise, the fire had died. The building was gone, and with it, the secrets of Willow Creek. Sarah sat by the ruins, ash in her hair, clutching the silver locket. Inside it, 2 photos, one of the real Emily, one of the second, Sarah quietly. "Maybe you both were her." A car pulled up, Carter stepping out slowly, his face pale. Carter, "You okay?" Sarah, soft smile. "I don't know, but I think she's free now." She looked out toward the trees, sunlight cutting through the fog, and for just a second, she saw her, Emily, smiling, whole, at peace. Then the breeze shifted, and she was gone. Some mysteries aren't meant to be solved. Some are meant to remind us what it costs to keep searching. 10 years of loss, 10 years of truth, and a friendship that even death couldn't erase. She was never lost, she was rewritten. They searched for a decade, and found a truth darker than any grave. But sometimes, the scariest monsters aren't hiding in the dark. They're the ones we trusted all along. Comment where you are watching from. If this story sent chills down your spine, hit subscribe for more real-life inspired mysteries, where every episode reminds you, not all who vanish are truly gone.